maybe I'll just start off with stating the obvious. I would have loved to stream this on YouTube to our 2 million subscribers who really want this information. I get stopped in the streets all the time, but we're being censored. And I'm new to this. You're not new to this. Maybe you can tell me, why is this happening? And do you ever get used to this censorship?
Well, first of all, Brian, kudos to you for developing a censorship-free platform. And the great thing about the free market is that when the big platforms say, you can't play here anymore because we don't like your message, a lot of people say, thank you very much. You've just given me a real opportunity that I was hoping to exploit for the last 10 years, and I'm going to set up a new platform. And here we go. And that's exactly what you've done. So I think that's what it does. What it does is it takes these people out of the marketplace, not immediately, but ultimately. Once they censor themselves, because people do not get what they want. And when you start telling people what they can watch and what they can't watch, I was just watching the platforms are censoring people like Michael Moore. I was reading The Hollywood Reporter, where people, prestigious documentary filmmakers, are getting censored in the same way because they don't like the message. Well, a lot of people do like the message, and a lot of people are going to insist on an alternative, and you're providing that alternative. So well done.
Yeah, it's been fascinating to watch, and I agree with you. It's been a great opportunity. Unfortunately, 90-some% of the world gets a lot of their video from this kind of video monopoly / search engine known as Google, YouTube. It takes a little searching to find it, but they can find it. And when you ban it, sometimes it means people look a little bit further. So I agree, it's a tremendous opportunity. But again, I'm new to this. My work wasn't censored until April 6th of this year. And now I've seen it in a big way. And I'll be honest with you, Andrew, when I was talking about COVID-19 and 5G, I thought it was bad. When I started talking about vaccination, it almost went up 5x. And when I had Robert Kennedy on, basically my YouTube rep said, don't even think about putting that on YouTube. And so I can only imagine what it's been like for you. And also, when I learn more about your story, you went through this when there wasn't independent media options, when you couldn't go on YouTube and tell your story. So I'd love to get into that at some point as well and just talk about, how you dealt with that back in the day. But still,
just on that, a very good point. When I went back and made the current film, I was looking at the archive of newspaper articles about vaccine safety, and there was proper reporting, really good journalism, and that stopped. And it stopped. Sebelius, I remember Sebelius, when she was head of Health and Human Services, she announced that the media should not give equal weight to people who question vaccine safety, who took an opposing view to the mainstream, to the CDC, to the pharmaceutical industries. And that was really the beginning. And then we saw, for Vax, the censorship at Tribeca. Now that was unheard of. When you start censoring films, independent films from independent film festivals, that's the death knell for that independent film festival. Again, it won't happen immediately, but now we're going to see a trickle down effect from that. But for us, and the paradox was that, in fact, it was the best thing that could possibly have happened, because Robert De Niro had the courage to go on to the Today Show a few days later and say, we shouldn't have done that. We should have played that film. Everybody needs to see this film. And then the De Niro effect took off worldwide and it exploded. So it backfired on them. Censorship backfired, and it became the most talked about story on social media. And a lot of people saw Vaxxed as a consequence. But if you go to Wikipedia now, they'll say Vaxxed was a failure. No, it wasn't. It made more money for the distributor than they've ever made before on a movie. It was highly successful. And it really changed the dynamic of this entire argument, this entire debate.